Hey, Vertigo listeners, welcome back to another episode. Can't wait for the next episode to kick off. But before I get there, I just got to give a quick shout out to my wife, Minna. First of all, I love you. Thank you for your support of this. And if you haven't had a massage at Air Healing and Wellness, that's EIR, you should be Googling it while I'm talking to you. If you haven't had a massage at Air Healing and Wellness, you are missing out. Not only do they help with those tired, achy, sore muscles, it is a place to just go and relax, rejuvenate, get ready to tackle life, which we all know is a shit show. So you need to get down there. Air Healing and Wellness, EIR. They're located at 5752 US Route 11 in Pulaski, New York. Yes, they are the best kept secret in the North Country. Air, EIR, Air Healing and Wellness. Get there. And now on to the episode. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Vertigo. This is your host, Sean, and I have two co-hosts with me today that I'm very excited about. And we're going to get into the conversation. But first, I'm going to introduce them around the table, starting with the gentleman to my immediate right, who I know you can't see the table, but just trust me, he's on my right. And welcome.
Thanks. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Are you going to tell us who you are?
Oh, I thought you were going to do that. I thought you were going to introduce me.
Oh, okay.
If I was your girlfriend, if I was your girlfriend, you wouldn't make me introduce myself.
So the gentleman to my immediate right is my son, Sean, also a host of Maple Talks. So you got to be checking that out. Also, that show is hot right now. And so welcome, Sean.
Yeah, thanks. It is good to be here.
Yeah, man. I have been actually so excited about cutting this episode. And to have the three of us here, we are experiencing some technical stuff, but we're going to figure that out. So, we're just going to roll with it. And then to my further right or to my immediate left, depending on how you look at the table, is also my son, Zach, back again for another episode of Vertigo. He joined us on the pilot episode. So this has been pretty exciting, I got to say.
It's weird that you called Zach to your right or left. He's sitting across from you.
Yeah. But Zach is back, ready to attack. Hit him in the sack.
Ooh,
that's all I got.
That's all I got. Okay.
That's how he introduces himself.
Watched UFC yesterday, so I'm a little violent.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's back, as you were talking about last time that we were chatting. You were talking about how it had been a while. It was like 3 or 4 weeks before the UFC.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad it's back though.
Can I say a UFC thing for just a minute?
Of course you can.
Okay.
I mean, we can't not go there.
Okay.
So
next week is the Armin Islam fight. Zach talked a little bit about it on the first podcast. I listened to it. If you're not a fan, watch that fight anyway. So Islam has looked unbeatable throughout his UFC career, except for one time, and that was Armin, and it was his UFC debut on 3 weeks' notice. So this fight for the champ could be like legendary status fight.
It's a high level fight.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really high level fight.
No, I'm actually excited. I'm more excited for the pay-per-view that's coming up than I was for the fight night last night. Although we were chatting before we went live, going on record, about it was nice to have the UFC back after such a break. And I sat there editing a podcast that's going to be released tonight, Sunday at 7 with Maddox. So I was editing that. And it was nice to just have it up on the screen. It was just cool.
Yeah.
Man.
Just right in the background.
Yeah. And I've got a nice sofa table now, so it feels like you're kind of sitting at a bar. So it's nice, man. I sit back there.
You got your vibes right?
Yeah, it's just that I need that, man. I like it.
Yeah, man. And I don't want to push my limits. I'm not the host. This isn't my podcast. And it's a little hard not to take charge. I'm going to be honest with you. But I want to do one thing and I have to do this.
Okay.
UFC first big pay-per-view.
Yeah. How'd you know what button to press?
It says it on there.
Oh, it
Yeah.
does. Nice.
That is nice. It is nice that it's would that
It was
be that
it was
one?
Cheer,
Or-
the first one there.
Yeah. I think this one's good too though.
What?
Yeah.
UFC's finally back. There you go.
Or Izzy is not on a pay-per-view. He's on Fight Night main card. That's crazy.
Awesome.
No, the wrong one, but we'll take it. I
Can
don't
you
know what we
believe
got.
that?
No, I know.
It's
Actually,
like
I
the
was gonna
first
bring that up.
Saturday of February. I can't. Izzy versus Imavo something.
Yeah, I saw
Um,
that.
That's a fight night, dude.
That's
That
going to
is-
be crazy. So this is a good segue, actually, for me to kind of get into the introduction. So why we're talking about this, because obviously, I think every episode that I've done on Maple Talks, and when you and I cut the episode of Vertigo, UFC comes up. So we have the UFC in common.
Yeah.
So today, specifically, I was thinking about talking about something that we all have in common sitting around the table right now.
cool.
Penises.
All right.
We
Yeah.
do all have those.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Is this a
Well-
humorous podcast?
Yeah.
Can I say
One.
It's Vertigo,
you-
man. It's the
Yeah.
podcast that'll make your head spin. So you can and actually, I did change the description. I said this is a place for conversation amongst men. So I guess penises would be, but I don't really have an interest in talking about penis, to be honest with you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we have it in common.
Yeah,
That's
we do. Okay. The other thing that we have in common. All right. I think I'm just going to introduce it before we get too far down the well here.
all. My bad.
The naughty well.
All three of us are young. Well, I'm not young anymore. We were young. I was a young parent, and you guys are young parents. So I thought it would be cool because I want to hear from you what it's like being a young parent currently in 2025 and compare it to a little bit of being a young parent when I was a parent. Well, I still am a parent, a young parent 25 years ago, really,
Yeah.
So
No, this is dope.
Yeah.
I'll let Sean go first because he had his kid first.
yeah, well, yeah. So here's the question. All right.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Here's the question. Tell me how old you were when you became a parent. And then secondly, talk about when you had your first kid, and if I know that you're the only one that has two, but talk about that a little bit.
Well, first off, let me premise it by saying this. You said I'm the only one to have two out of Zach and I, obviously.
Right.
Since Zach and I are here, there's obviously at least two of us. Not trying to intervene. It's crazy. So, especially like with all the shit going on right now, it's an election year. Election years are always crazy. So, it's hard to compare it to this year. I had my daughter when I was 22, and then I just had my son when I was 24. I had just turned 24. So I have two under two. We got back to work pretty quick.
Yeah, you did, man.
Yeah. And not, Max, if you listen to this ever in your future, it's not going to be a surprise, but you weren't an accident, but definitely a little bit of a surprise. So it wasn't on purpose, but it was a blessing, of course. No, it's crazy to compare the two, I feel like, to you and I, right? Because, like, right now, you and I are not that far apart, right? How old were you when I was born? 22, 23?
So I was 24 when you were born, and I was with your brother and sister at 20 and 21. So I guess it depends. I had parental responsibilities, I guess, at like 21, but then I had my first biological, obviously you, actually only biological, at 24.
Nux. Yeah, so we're only 24 years apart, but the 24 years was like not the greatest, the craziest in change, right? Because the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, things were different but similar, So in the 90s, 2000s, that's when cell phones, computers, the internet, all this streaming service, so much has changed. So I feel like it's hard to compare the two. I don't know where I'm going with this, but what I mean is, I think you and I parenting is very different. I think that every parent when they have a kid gets gets that feeling like they're nervous about the future for their kids' generation. So I think that is one thing we probably all will share is like all of us are scared for what's to come.
100%.
But I think that all parents do feel that. But for me, I was young, but I felt like I was ready. So it didn't feel.
Yeah. Well, and I think we want to be careful too. I want to just jump in because I think, age isn't about whether or not we are ready. I think that, so I don't want, it doesn't matter what age you have a child. I think that nobody's really ever really ready for that. So you could be, young at 22, 23, 24 and have a child. And I don't feel like you're any more ready than 30, 40 years old. But Zach, how about you? How old were you when Paxton was born or was on his way?
I think I was 22 when he was born, which I didn't know we were the same age with our first kid, Sean. That's pretty cool.
We're always the same age.
I
so,
know.
Yeah.
It's true too. You guys have such a connection in that way. It's great.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch.
I would say a little part of motivation for me having Paxton was Sean and Mary having Parker. I mean, and I had a friend tell me it's better to have him young so you have the energy. I understand that now, for sure. Of course, not too young. But yeah, I was 22 when Paxton was born in September. Then I turned 23 in October right away. And he's one in, 4 months-ish? But it's been a nice ride. I was not ready to have a kid. When my girlfriend told me, I was like, wow, I really got to get up on my feet and start doing something.
Right.
So like my life kind of flashed before my eyes, got on my feet, did shit. But it's been such a beautiful journey, hard, some fun, some not so fun. But as long as you got help, a helping hand, it goes by pretty good.
What's the, what do you think the challenge is, for both of you? I mean, what challenges, and I'll talk a little bit about mine also, but what challenges do you face, do you think?
Challenges right now is he's becoming so observant and like he wants to try new things every day. He's climbing everything he can climb. He just fell off his like toy tote yesterday. Yeah, and he's fine right after. But it's like, dude, just relax a little bit for me.
Well, I'll say this about the challenges of being a young parent. Like, Zach and I don't know any different other than being young still. So you kind of have that feeling of looking back and being like, oh, I thought I knew what the fuck I was doing, but I had no idea. Where Zach and I are in that phase where we have no fucking idea. We'll probably look down the road and be like, oh, we were dumb. But right now we're so in it that we have no idea.
I got to say, though, I feel much the same. I feel like I actually think it was a blessing being a young parent because, sure, there's going to be challenges. There's challenges to parenting. I looked at it like, though, that you were my little pal. And so for me, it was like, this is cool because I'm young enough to be involved, Little League, wrestling, whatever it was. I felt like I was also kind of still a kid, so to speak, right? And it was just, so I looked at it like it was enjoyable. Of course, there's challenges, but the challenges to me were more about like adulthood stuff, making sure that I had a good job so that I could provide that kind of shit.
So I do still feel like a kid raising a kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
1,000%.
I really do.
1,000%.
There's so much I need to learn for myself. There's so much I need to learn for my family, and there's so much I need to learn for Paxton.
It was really nice that Zach and I had kids. I almost said together. We didn't have kids together.
That would have been a fucking miracle, though.
But at the same time, because I feel like Zach and I got to share that a lot, like, with not just like stressful stuff, but accomplishments. Like, say Zach is going through the teething stage or whatever with his son, I could be like, that part's tough. But I could tell you when they start to do this, it gets better, or this is what I learned. Like, obviously everyone tells you like advice for parenting, but the truth is every kid is different and every advice doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
And you need to find what works for you. But I was able to say, Zach, these are some things that maybe we were able to do that helped. Why don't you give them a shot? And to be honest, now I have my second kid. And I kind of forgot about the baby stage because, dude, us guys, we just want it over with. Let's be real. The baby stage sucks for us men.
Yeah.
The girls love it for some reason, But I forgot about it anyway. So now Zach is closer to the baby stage than I am. So when I just had another baby, like I was like, dude, is this or that, and Zach's like, well, here's what we used to do. It was still kind of fresh for him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was nice.
And it's going back to the babies are so different. Just your two kids are so different.
Oh, dude,
They're
they're not
not the
it's-
same.
No, and I can't wait to see what Maxwell's only a couple months old now. I can't wait to see what he's like when he's what Parker is now, 1 almost 2, because I am excited to compare them and see.
Yeah, my problem, I did do a little comparing because I thought like my comparing was like, okay, babies have milestones. I felt like at a certain point he should have been crawling, but then I talk about it, I voice it, and Sean makes me feel better. Other parents make me feel better. They're like, no, just hold on. He'll crawl then walk before you know it, and it was true. It was true. But yeah, comparing will put a parent down the fucking rabbit hole.
That kind of brings up a good point too, because I heard you said it, and this kind of echoes that. It sounds like advice. We do rely as parents, I think, on advice. I think, yeah. What is advice that you would wish that someone had given you, but also advice that you would give, to someone else?
Okay, so yeah, my advice I give to friends that don't have kids yet is you're never gonna be ready. Like, don't ever say, "Well, I want to wait till I'm ready." Obviously, wait till you're in a safe environment, like a good, stable home or whatever. But you're never gonna be ready. You can read as many books as you want, YouTube videos. Every kid's different. You just gotta ride it out.
You guys were the Rugrats generation, right? Was that you guys? I see. It's hard for me because things all blend together in like years back. It's kind of, somebody once said that yesterday feels like a year ago, and a year ago feels like yesterday, and it's so true.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only reason I bring it up is the book that the parents read, or it was Dr. Lipschitz. Do you remember? Do you
No,
guys
I
remember
don't.
that?
No.
It might have been it might have been like Alec and Bethany, I think, but that had that.
Yeah, you'll never be ready. It's wild.
No, and like I think my advice I would say is like I agree with Zach. You'll never be ready. That's true. But also like if you want kids, you have nothing to lose having kids. You know what I mean? If it's like, oh, I want kids, but I'm waiting, or for whatever reason, I get it too. I mean, it's smart to wait and really make sure you are at least close enough to be ready. But the truth is like, until you have kids, like that feeling that you get having kids is never there. You know what I mean? You'll never know what it feels like to have kids until you have kids, and you could try to explain to somebody who doesn't what it's like, and they could say, "Oh, I've babysat or I had little siblings." It's nothing. You know what I mean? And it's fucking stressful, to be real. You know what I mean? Every parent wants to talk about the love they feel and all the good emotions, but the truth is when you're sitting there for 2 hours trying to get the baby to calm down and nothing is working, it gets fucking stressful. You know what I mean? Or when you have to repeat yourself and tell your kid no 3 times, it gets, I mean, that doesn't bother me that much, but it does get frustrating. You know what I mean? And I think for people, until you need to have that feeling of frustration and stress to get that same feeling of love and good emotion.
Of course. I like that. Yeah.
No, I would agree with that too. Yeah, I was trying to think if there was advice that I would have enjoyed, but I can't. I don't know. I can't really think.
I don't know if I've ever gotten great advice, but I mean, it's good to know people do kind of want to help you.
I can tell you this. Everyone gives you that same advice of
That's what
sleep when the baby sleeps.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to drop the kids off when you need a break. Like all that is true.
Yeah.
But the real advice is like that I can give is like just be present and enjoy it, because as cliche as it is, it goes fast as fuck. And my daughter's almost 2 years old already, and it's like in the same amount of time from when she was born till now, she'll be in kindergarten.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
Yeah,
it's true.
holy.
It's true. I think, and time does go by. I mean, for perfect case in point, I have the honor, and it is an honor actually, to be sitting here with both of you at 24 years old. And
Yeah.
it's absolutely true that time goes by, because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that you were in grade school, elementary school, or You
Cooking
were
dinner at your house.
Yeah,
I
and-
remember all of us making our own solo pizzas and having
Bro,
contests.
I was just
apple
about to say
pies.
that shit. The solo
Yeah.
pizzas were the best nights ever.
We
Yeah.
did some very. Do you remember
The waffles.
dude, you just pulled it right out of my fucking brain.
The waffle
Yes.
burger we had. Yeah, dude.
I was gonna say even more so when we made the homemade bagels. Remember when? Or no, were they bagels or pretzels?
Both.
We did
Yeah,
both.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember pretzels over bagels. Yeah.
There's a lot of memories at the Oswego house.
Yeah, what else? There was that. There was something else on the tip of my. Oh, when we made the hot sauce. Do you remember
Oh,
when
yeah,
we got the
yeah.
peppers and we cooked down the hot
Well,
sauce?
I remember one time you made a bunch of you grew a bunch of jalapenos and then you cut them all up for everybody, but there was only a small portion of it taken. So you ate like a fucking jalapeno sandwich for whatever. You didn't want them to go to waste or for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Why are you doing that?" You're like, "Oh, I'll be all right." And later you're laying on the floor. You're like, "Oh my God, it burns."
I remember doing the one chip challenge.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Zach, did you ever go in the basement at that house? It always
sure.
gave me the creeps.
I'm
And I don't know
sure.
why. It was like a semi-finished, cement floor basement. But for whatever reason, that basement.
I don't remember the basement, but I don't see how I could have never gone down there.
It was through the little bathroom downstairs.
No, maybe not. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
that one. I had a little wood shop down there, but the problem was you had a duck because the ceilings were low down there. Obviously, the other thing you want to talk about creepy basements, though. I don't know if do you remember the Adams house?
I remember the house, but I don't remember the basement.
That basement was fucking creepy. I remember poor man. It had this weird wood burning furnace in it, and so you'd have to load the furnace with wood, and then sometimes it would the burner would go. So there was this device. I don't even know what it was, but anyway, she went to touch it because you'd have to flick it on. I don't even know how to explain it, but it gave her a shock, man. It sent her across the fucking basement, and it's not funny, but it was like holy shit! Like paramedics had to come.
Oh,
it was
man.
fucked. Yeah, that basement was traumatizing.
I think, how long did you live there?
In Adams, I don't know.
It wasn't that long, right?
Maybe a year, and then we bought the house in Oswego.
So I don't have that many memories of the Adams house. But I do remember one. Does Uncle Buddy listen to this podcast? Well, if he does, he'll remember probably when he shot the fucking Orobi,
Yeah,
the frisbee, 40 feet into the tree. We were all trying to throw rocks at it to get
Yeah.
it down. I remember that.
It was Minna who got it down. She tied a fucking brick on the end of the rope and lassoed the fucking
Oh,
thing
wow.
through the center of the Aerobi. You don't remember that?
That's skill.
It
I
was
guess.
still. We were like, what the fuck?
I remember when Walter shot a shit rocket.
Yeah.
That's skill too.
Walter was a chihuahua. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. So I think going back to what you had said and those memories, it's so incredible. So many memories too around the kitchen in Oswego. That was a lot of fun.
You know what I'll say too about memories is I'm coming in slowly. You heard that?
Yeah.
You got headphones on. Dad doesn't. But a lot of memories you don't remember until you start talking. I wouldn't have remembered some of those. Yeah, until you start thinking about it. That's why it's so good, I think, for people to talk about their memories, good or bad, because I talked about it on my latest podcast, not to shameless plug, but
No, we talked about doing a crossover. So, I mean, here it is.
Yeah.
You can't have two hosts together. Sean and I have to share a mic for this podcast. So we have to lean in when we talk about it. We should have actually. I just started.
I feel like we're going to do a boy band.
Yeah.
You guys didn't see what just happened.
From
but
1950s, the 1950s
boom,
doo-wop on the mic. Yeah.
That's funny.
But this is great.
Yeah, Christmas album coming soon.
That's right. So fuck it. I completely lost my train of thought and where we were going with that.
Well, speaking about music real quick,
yeah.
I just recently started picking up my guitar again. Man, you got to get a new one. I remember I went to I grew up, you always had a guitar somewhere, a drum set somewhere, a mandolin somewhere around the house. There was just stages of musical instruments. And last time I came up here, not last time, but when I came up here recently, I went to pick up your guitar and the fucking body of the guitar just fell off the neck. Like a fucking cartoon. I picked it up dong, the fucking strings. I'm like, what the? Yeah, man. And you need to pick it back up. Really.
May have to fix it first.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
get a new one. Yeah.
I think that it's time for a new guitar. I've talked about buying a Baby Martin. I do miss playing, but then I've also kind of now turned my focus into the podcast and really this being my creative outlet. I do miss music, but unfortunately, kind of getting older, one of the things that I've had to deal with is arthritis in my hands, which makes it really difficult. Not to say that it's impossible, and not to say that I still shouldn't probably be trying to play, but after a while, it gets really painful.
You know what? Like for me, shout out Justin, Mary's dad. He came over to the house not that long ago, and he plays like here and there. I don't know if, yeah. So I was, he saw it, and he plays a little. He's decent, and he's like, "Oh, pick it up, dude. Let me hear something." And I don't play in front of people at all, so I was like, "No," and he's like, he just picked it up and started playing, and it just made me realize like I have so much to learn still. I need to get back on it and play really.
I think you bring up a good point too. In parenting, it's important not to lose yourself. Like you still need those moments because music was very much important. Music was very important to me, and I am so happy to hear that a memory that you have is then like having the instruments around the house and having that experience because I think, that's important because that was part of my personality that I got to share with you, and it was kind of outside of parenting, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So it was like in Zach cooking, when we were cooking in the kitchen and we're talking about the fun that we had doing the same thing, like even though it was high school, it was still those memories and that connection that it wasn't me being a parent. That was me sharing a joy with you,
I mean, I've never had moments like that. I've never cooked in the kitchen ever until your house.
And I don't mean to get a little depressing here, but that was like one of the main things I remember about you and mom getting divorced is like we always had my mom's not fucking musical at all, you know what I mean? She likes to sing Bon Jovi, but
Shine Down.
or Shine Down, but like there was always instruments in the house, and then when it was always music playing in the house as well, like live music always in the house, you know what I mean? So when you and mom got divorced, it was like it was quiet, like too quiet, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can see that. And that's one of the, I think, things about parenting that's hard too is, sometimes those things happen, between adults, right? So mom and I obviously splitting impacted you too. And that's hard to think about too, but also true. And you don't think about the void that probably leaves sometimes. So yeah, it's kind of I never really thought about that, but
yeah, not to throw you down a depressing loop. Sorry about that, but yeah, no, it's like, and
no. Can I just interject one thing?
Yeah.
Because
this is your podcast,
well,
brother.
no, I know, but I think that this is exactly what I want Vertigo to be, is a place where we can be vulnerable. I think it's actually cool that we're talking on the mic about some of this stuff because it's stuff that I never thought about. But I really like the idea of being able to come together and be vulnerable a little bit, like hence talking about even parenting today. Like, we have a lot of experience in this room already, believe it or not. 48 plus 24 plus 24. Like
it's 48.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
48,
So 48 plus 48. That's a lot of years of knowledge. There you go, boys. There you go. So anyway, my point being is like, yeah, this is a place to talk about all of that, the good, bad, and the ugly. You know what I mean? Which actually leads me to a good question. What's been the pit of parenthood, do you think? Like, what's been a part of parenthood that is just like been either like difficult or, something that's just been like,
I'll be honest, I'm still so early in parenting that it's kind of hard to even.
I think I got examples for both of us.
Yeah. Let me hear it.
Because you kind of told me one today, and it's usually you're always driving with a kid in the back.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're like a car guy and you like to do fun car things.
Reverse burnouts in the parking lot.
Right.
Reverse donuts, I mean.
I don't know, I was going to say the lack of fun, but selfishly. Because you have fun with your kid and your family, but your own fun kind of dials down a little bit.
Yeah, I think in general, you just lose a lot of time to yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll say this, like, even before, right? So it starts like, I was in a relationship young. I feel like this is good to talk about on the podcast. So Mary and I got together when we were 15 years old. So I don't really know myself as myself. You know what I mean? So like and not in a negative way, but you know, my whole life I was young, right? And then I got with Mary and
Fell in love.
yeah, and which is good, that's great, you know. But like and then you have kids and then for so long you go like, what do I like? What is it the stuff that I'm into? You know what I mean? So much is like what Mary and I are into, and then it's like what me and the kids are into, what Mary and I and the kids are into. That like it's I tell people all the time when they're in high school, like, don't get in relationships, and they're like, how can you say that when what you and I'm like, I love that Mary and I got in a relationship, and I still love Mary dearly, but the truth is like, learn yourself before you work on somebody else or kids. And I think that's a great
Absolutely.
thing. Back to the question of like advice for parent soon to be parents is like, learn yourself, because that's the closest you're going to be to being ready.
Yeah. And now that I'm thinking about your question, Big Sean, it was the most challenging thing. Mine actually has been daycare. Daycare's been fucked, man. Fucked. You're on a waiting list like 10 babies deep. That makes no sense.
Yep.
That's been a hassle.
And if you are coming into I'll say parenthood like financially ready, you're not, because it's more expensive than you'll ever think. But
that's where that good help comes from. Like, if you have good help where people can like feed you a little bit of money if you need it for your baby, of course.
Yeah, I just think that like it's okay to not be rich when you have kids. So
Yeah,
many
you
people are
don't-
like, no, I want to have a brand new truck and a brand new house before I have kids. Like, first of all, the kids aren't going to know any different, and you're going to be able to enjoy the presence of your kids whether you have $1 million or $10.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, it's one of those things where I have learned over the years too that it does take a village in a sense. Having strong connections to, and I don't want to say family necessarily, because it doesn't need to be family. I mean, I think that we get to kind of choose our family when we get older, right? And sometimes they are blood relatives, and sometimes they're not, but they are people who are there for us, who support us, and they have that mentality of, of course we want to love and support you, so we're gonna help. And
Yeah.
I think that helps too. Like, parenting isn't an independent thing. At least that's what I've learned too.
I
takes a
I
village.
agree, but the parents should hold
Oh,
the most responsibility and
yeah.
accountability.
As
Because
far as
there are some parents that like will give their kid off every day.
Yeah. And
Right.
some parents are the headrest and some parents are the whole chair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's important it's okay to have the headrest for a little bit of support, but you got to be the chair. You know what I'm saying? That's a weird analogy, but I don't know why that just popped into my head first.
Makes sense though.
no, I understand. Maybe it's because you're on a stool and you really want to be in a chair.
I have such bad posture anyway that I wouldn't lean back in a chair anyway.
Lean back, lean back.
Yo, I'll say this though, like, not to get a little modern on everybody. I'll say this, and I'll say it like this on some real shit.
Yeah.
Props to the high schoolers who had kids, because
Yeah.
everyone like looked at them differently. Maybe, I don't know, but like until you had kids, you didn't realize how stressful. Can you imagine having kids in high school?
Yeah,
I
imagine
fucking
going
can't.
to school and having a kid. Yeah.
One of the things I was thinking about too while you were talking, and to kind of rewind it back just a little bit, is you had talked about, identity and knowing yourself and, kind of all of that. And that is much harder to do, I think, in a relationship. It's not impossible, but I think you're right. It is important to kind of get comfortable with yourself. And I never understood until recently, and I know this is kind of outside of the parenting discussion, but I didn't even understand until recently what it truly meant to like love yourself. I just didn't understand that because I grew up with the ideology that loving yourself meant you were vain or you were egotistical, right?
Yeah.
Or that too self-absorbed, I guess, right? And I have found that that's absolutely not true, like at all. And in fact, I think it's made me a better person in a lot of ways.
Well, I think as you go through life, like right now, you say like you really are starting to understand what it means to love yourself. Like as you go through life, I feel like that just naturally gets better, right?
Mhm.
So like even though right now you think it's good, in 5 years it's going to be even better, right? So I think that just for so long everyone is so worried about everybody else, their family, their friends. They want to make sure everybody's good that they forget to just like, dude, I've been in a relationship for so long and then I had kids. Like sometimes when Mary leaves or when the house is empty, like I don't know how to handle the quiet.
It's lonely. It's dark. You're bored. But oh no, keep going because I forgot what I was going to say. I really did. I had something.
That's all right. That's all right. So, kind of a thought that I have.
Oh,
had-
wait.
Yeah,
I'm
go.
sorry. I remember now.
Do it. No, do it.
It was something about like loving yourself.
Yes.
My kid kind of teaches me that to love myself. I don't know, in a weird way. Because your kid is almost like a dog, like a man's best friend for a moment.
Right.
He loves seeing you. He smiles when he sees you.
You're right.
So I don't know. It's like, wow, he loves me and unconditionally. So fuck, dude.
And I'll say this too on top of that.
Who
Zach
am
and
I
I
to hate myself.
Zach and I, our brains are connected. Zach and I think so much alike that when he said that, I can add on to it in the sense of even though our kids are toddlers, so they don't have they have a personality, but not like an adult personality, obviously. You still see yourself so much in your kids that you go like, I love them, even for when they're fucking up. You know what I mean? And it goes, oh, it's okay if I fuck up too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's a beautiful thing. The full fit. Go ahead. Preach.
I'm just taking this bitch over.
No, it's a beautiful thing having a kid, man. And I wish my friends weren't so selfish, honestly, because I want my kid to hang out with my friends' kids.
Yeah.
Like
right.
I'm glad we have Parker and Max. I have other friends that I wish would have kids too.
Yeah.
I love to help them too, and I guess I'd love to give them advice, but not the normal advice.
Well, that's one of the things that I think you're so good at. You know, you really are a person who you're wise beyond your years in a lot of sense. So I think, and you're very thoughtful. You know?
I am. I try to be.
And after you have kids, like you look at
other people's kids.
Exactly. And you get happy for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You do.
For sure.
So let me ask you this, because this is this all came up for me when I talked to you on, I don't remember if it was Thursday, Friday, whenever you said, hey, I'm going to come up and join into Sean. So originally Zach and I had planned, and then Sean said, I'm going to jump in. And I had gotten so excited. And that's really what sparked my thought about this topic, is because I'm like, it's cool because I get to sit with you guys. And then I'm like, man, and we have so much in common in it. And it's, even though it's like generational, I'm a parent figure, but still we have so much in common in it. And I love that. And so I was so excited about this conversation. And so one of the things that I started thinking about was, what has been the best moment so far? Now, I know both of your guys' kiddos are young, and we've talked about that, but even up to this point so far, and I'm going to tell you what my favorite moment is first. So for me, my best moment so far in parenting has then been able to see you and yourself, Zach, so Sean and Zach, now become parents, because I feel like you can't even begin to understand the love that I have for you guys until you've then shared that with a kid of your own. And then you see that through my eyes. So it's like the fact now that you get to experience that is so exciting for me. So how about for you? What are some of your most, beloved moments so far, and moments that have taught you something about yourself even,
So I'll jump in first.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either. So I'll jump in first, but mainly because of something that you said that I heard, and it reminded me, and it connects. So I heard somebody say, for the first 13 to 14 years of a kid's life, that's you being a parent. And after 14, then you get to be their best friend. And so, as we haven't got that yet, but now you get to sit here and you're not here to parent me. You know what I mean?
Right,
you're not here to discipline me and make sure I'm a good man, because the man I already am is the man I am. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So now you get the relaxation of just enjoying our presence. You know what I mean? And I'm excited for that as our kids get older. Not that I'm rushing it, but I'll say that, just my favorite thing so far is just growth. Like seeing growth is so, to just see them become a human, because when they're a baby, they're humans, obviously, but it's like, it's just a sack of potatoes. You know what I mean?
They
That
don't
makes
do much.
noise.
They don't do much.
No, so like now to see them grow personalities and even sometimes I have a young daughter who has a lot of attitude, and even though sometimes I get annoyed with the attitude, it's like still good to see like, oh, she's fighting for what she wants. She's already got the personality where even though I'm her father, she's not afraid to tell me no, and it's cool to see personalities grow. I'll say just personalities in general.
I mean, that was where I was going to go. The growth of seeing how my kid's becoming, who he's becoming. Like I talked earlier, he's getting risky climbing, his toy tote, but he's learning from it. And I'm learning that he's kind of a little fearless right now. I love the personality change.
I heard somebody say too, it's funny because we're all dads here, obviously, so we don't know what a mom feels like.
Yeah.
But I heard somebody say, kids need mom love and dad love in their life. I think it was Giannis Pappas on a comedy set. I think his YouTube special, actually. But it's true. Moms give that unconditional love and comfort, where dads kind of give that harder love, like let them learn. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see our kids lean into both. Like when my kids are, well, mainly my daughter, Parker, when she's with Mary, she looks for a little more of that love and comfort, where with me, she gets a little more risky and she's not afraid to fall down as much. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see that too. Just they already are learning us as humans. We're not just learning them. They're learning how to deal with us and how to react with us as well.
Yeah, and to go back to what you said like 30 sentences ago.
Sorry.
You're good. The relaxation. Like now your father, Big Sean, can have the relaxation of just being in your presence. And that makes a lot of sense to me because like you're worrying a lot of the time about your kid, especially when you're not around. There's a lot of worry. Make sure, he's not eating anything he shouldn't, not putting toys in his mouth that he's going to choke on. There's a lot of worry. So yeah, at a certain point, we will feel that relaxation of just the presence of our kid. That's wild.
And
dude.
we'll probably miss the stress a little, to be honest.
we
Do you
probably
ever
will.
miss it? Do you miss the stress of parenting?
Yeah, I think that's what kind of the whole empty nester thing that you hear about is. I guess for me, I think for me it's hard because I rewind back and think about things that we did, like we were reminiscing on the podcast. Yeah, and I do miss that a lot. I think that there is kind of, I don't want to say an emptiness. It's not like an emptiness. Your heart's full because you got to experience it, but there's like this, like
I might
if
have
I
an
could just
answer
have,
for you.
yeah, and I think it's like if I could just have them back one more time at 14 or one more time at 8 or whatever, you know what I mean? One more time just to do it again.
To maybe gain that purpose feeling. Because right now I feel like I have so much purpose in Paxton's life. Like I'm keeping you alive every day right now. And that gives me a lot of purpose and makes me feel good. So, and you don't really have that purpose.
Yeah, you're right. The purpose changes. Yeah, you're right. Your role changes. So I guess it's just, but at the same time, for me, I also am one to always enjoy looking forward and to see what's coming next. I think that I really enjoy, this phase, for example, like you were just talking about how, like, you see, I've gotten to witness now the both of you become young adults and make choices for yourselves. And, and there's a certain part of joy in that too, because it's like you're still, I don't know. It just changes. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling, but you know what I mean?
We'll know when we're 48.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's really hard because I feel like it is something that comes with age. It's just like,
well, it's one
there's
of those
an
things.
introspect.
Yeah, it's one of those things like if you don't have a kid, you just don't know how it feels.
Yes.
Like, I guess this comes back to my advice thing now that I'm really thinking about it because, like, I am a clutter freak. Like, I don't like clutter in the house. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like so much, I literally just follow Parker around the house and pick up behind her. And one time, Mary sent me this TikTok, and it just said like one day the house is gonna be quiet and there's not gonna be clutter, and you're gonna miss it. And I think I am like you in the sense of every way. Really, you and I are a lot alike, Dad. But I'm the same way as you in the sense of I'm always looking forward. So I'm like, yeah, this part's fun, but like I can't wait until they're like going to school and then they could get home and tell me what they're learning about school. And then at that point I'll probably be like, yeah, but I can't wait till I'm teaching them how to drive.
Yeah.
And then at that point I'll probably be like, yeah, but I can't wait till I can have a beer with them. You know what I mean? So I am not good at living in the moment. So I think my advice to everyone else and me is learn how to live in the moment.
I want to just interject real quick on that because I think that's such a great thing, because also one of the things that we're talking about as parenting is it's one of the difficulties is when you see a personality flaw in yourself that comes through. And for me, I have felt like that's always been a personality flaw. I have not been able to be in the moment. I'm always, like I talked about, I'm always looking forward to the next, that sometimes I forget to enjoy the now. And so I think if there was advice, see how I'm tying all this shit together? And what the fuck? We are fucking professionals in this room right now. No, seriously. And one of the things that I think is important and the advice that I would give is just that. Like, really, really, really focus on what it means to slow down and just take a moment to enjoy the now, because it is really important. You know, these moments we will never be able to get back. So, you know, that's kind of my thought.
Yeah, I have a problem of living too much in the now, I think. Sometimes I just don't think about the future because I am living too much in the now. And
So you see it from a different perspective.
That's like the only way Zach and I are like very different. Like I'm always thinking ahead and I'm always reminding Zach to think ahead and Zach's always reminding me to think about now. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the nice way we contradict ourselves is like, I'm always like, yeah, but you're not thinking about like next year. You know what I mean? And he's like, you're not thinking about tomorrow?
Yeah. So like you can abuse anything in any type of way. I kind of abuse that living in the now so much that if I have a problem, I just don't deal with it because I just don't think about the future. But yeah, and you abuse the thinking about the next moment, and sometimes you interrupt guests or just family sitting or something.
What are you talking about, interrupting guests? I don't do that.
Maple Talks, first episode with Father. It was a great episode.
I'm looking at
It wasn't a problem. Everyone's learning.
I can see the audio waves right now, and I can see like no flat lines, and I am realizing that I'm probably a lot of them. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the fucking spikes in there.
But you need someone like that, though.
That's the thing. I think that, all the personalities fit together.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what they do. But also what I really love about doing this and talking about it live is kind of weird, I guess. But, you know, one of the things that I love about this is it really does kind of teach you about yourself and your patterns. Podcasting has been one of those things for me, not to kind of derail the conversation, but I think it's important to say, like, this has given me the opportunity to kind of demonstrate having healthier conversations, because I, like you, we are so alike, Sean. It's insane. I get so excited that I want to jump right over the top. I notice when I listen back to the old On the Rocks episodes, how many times I cut Matthew off or just talked right over him. So it's, holy shit.
And you know, like I've been doing podcasting for a while. Zach and I had one way back in the day called Keeping It Real. I think we did like 6 episodes or something.
I don't even know if it was 6, dude.
And then we did 13 Days Apart. And
Which is killer.
Thank you. That was a mainly UFC podcast. And then now I'm doing this, and this one I'm like obviously the most mature. And I'm really listening back and really learning. Like I'm a great podcaster in the sense of I'm a great talker. I'm not a great listener. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think, and that's one of the things that comes with it is learning. And then I find too that this kind of forces me to practice that, though. It's not just saying I need to be a better listener. It's if I really want the next episode to be the next level, then I have to then practice those things, you know.
But I'll even say beyond that, like because I do it with podcasting, I've realized it now, like because I'm my worst critic. So I would listen back to my podcast and go, fuck, I fucking cut them off. And then it made me realize how many conversations did I cut short because I jumped in. Right. So now I think about it in my real life. You know what I mean? So in real life now, I try to make sure, let them talk because they probably have something interesting to say, but you're so worried about what you're going to say that you didn't even think about it.
Yeah. You learned that after doing your podcast.
1,000%.
So to go on what your dad said, it's so true. You learn as you keep going.
Yeah.
This is fun though.
Zach, if you had to guess how far along we are right now, have you checked your
Oh,
phone or anything?
No, dude.
I can see it, so I know. But
How far along we are?
yeah, how many minutes are we into this podcast?
39.
50 minutes almost.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is wild.
Wow.
Fuck yeah, nuts.
Holy
Round of
shit.
nuts.
So, yep.
Yeah, leaving
Boom.
me fucking hanging. Okay.
Yeah, man. No, like I said, I have been waiting, and this has just been so, and the thing is like, even the technical issues that we were having at the beginning of it all, as we really got rolling with it, I was like, fuck it, because this is just what's important is like I said, to have the three of us together. I would actually love to get Maddox on and do the four of us. Now, I know
course.
that's really going to have to come up with some thinking on how we can.
The splitter, bro. The splitter.
Yeah, I think so.
2 splitters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We could do it with 2. 1,000%.
Yeah. So we're going to get there.
We found a way today. We'll find a way again.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We will not be technically held back. Ain't gonna happen. Whatever.
And what I say this on Maple Talks a lot is that every episode is better, right? And it's the same with everything, right?
Yeah.
So for your podcast, for my podcast, for learning how to drive, for whatever it is, every day you're gonna get better. You know what I mean? As long as you're interested and as long as you like it, it's every episode's gonna be better. So keep tuning in because eventually this thing's gonna be fucking.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? French kiss or what is it? Chef's
Well,
kiss.
wait.
Not French kiss.
Wait. We have something.
We have
a kiss button.
right here.
Do it. Yeah.
Shit's going to be. Oh.
Yeah. The French. Yeah. No, not French. It's not French. French is making out.
chef's.
No, chef's kiss. Yeah.
Chef.
Oh, is that a chef? That's a chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm like, I thought you meant. I don't know.
What if it was a chef's French kiss?
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could. Does that mean he's like making out with his own
Yes.
fingers?
Yeah.
that's
I don't
what
want to
it
go to
was.
that restaurant.
Yeah, I don't want that restaurant either.
All right.
But-
I do.
Yeah, so I think so. Anyway, I wicked appreciate the discussion. I love that we're pushing the envelope with Vertigo with these conversations, and I love that this has truly been a gathering place for us to kind of come around the table and also have some vulnerable moments. I think that's completely what this show is aiming to be, and so I just really appreciate that you guys, were willing to do this and just be vulnerable with me, I guess,
Yeah.
on the show.
Do you have anything else in your notebook that we didn't touch?
No, man. I mean, we can freeform right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
No, I'm just saying that I just appreciated this so much, and I was just so excited. So, I'm just happy. I guess is where I'm coming from with it, and hearing your experiences as parents, and hearing about things that we shared, and I guess I realized that it's just really not that different. I just am looking back at it from a different part of the journey. I'm on a different mile marker.
Okay, yeah.
I'll jump into a new topic like this. It kind of tags along, but like part of growth, right? As growing into an adult, I've learned is like when you're in high school, everything is so competitive, right? So
Yeah.
you're looking at other people and inadvertently you're kind of wanting them to fail. You know what I mean? Maybe not wanting them to fail, but you want to do better than them. And as becoming an adult, I realized like every human, I think people in general need to learn this is like we're all together, right? You wanting somebody to like for instance, like say you and I own businesses, we'll call the businesses podcast, right? Well, I don't want Vertigo to get bigger than Maple Talks. Like, no, I'm not gonna go do that podcast. It's like fuck no, like we're all in this to win.
Yeah.
Together. And as an adult, I learned to like stop looking at people like that and start thinking about like other people's success. You know what I mean?
You just made something click for me. I think that I had struggled with, and it's that ideology that my generation has said, "Oh, you come from the everybody wants a trophy phase," and the light bulb just clicked on for me. It's not about everybody getting a trophy. It's about giving everybody the chance to rise up. Let them eat, right? Like we said, let them eat, like right. And I just realized, man, you just clarified that for me. I just had a fucking aha moment sitting right here in the chair. It's like, holy shit, competitiveness is good, but isn't it also kind of a cool thing to see like everybody be able to rise up and everybody be their best version of themselves? I mean, that's pretty fucking incredible, to be honest with you.
Yeah. If everyone gets a trophy, how do I word this? It might make everybody just work or try their best to get the trophy. I don't know.
And here's what I have to say, because Zach and I are UFC fans. Dad, you're a UFC fan too. That is one of the most competitive sports, in my opinion. Combat sports in general are one of the most competitive sports in the world. If those guys can beat the shit out of each other and shake hands after, why the fuck can't we shake hands after something losing a fucking, who knows, whatever it is? You know what I mean?
No,
If that sport can be that competitive and they could still hug and say, hey, fucking, you got me. Great fight. You know what I mean?
If I'm not mistaken.
I got to piss real quick.
All right.
All right.
So I'll talk to you, Big Sean.
All right.
If
That'd
I'm
be
not
the weirdest
mistaken,
outro ever, but okay.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, though, I don't watch many other sports but UFC. They have like the most sportsmanship, I feel like.
I would agree with
Like team sports, they get, I mean, if you're a team sport, you're mad at your own teammate, you're mad at the other team, you might be mad at your fucking coach.
that. Right.
There's a lot of things that you could be mad at that you neglect that sportsmanship. But yeah, I mean, every fight I see, they're hugging after.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
Yeah, dude.
No, I think, and I think, that Sean had brought up a great point that combat sports are probably the most competitive of any sport.
And it's a violent competitive too.
You're
you
right.
Try to really hurt the other guy.
Yeah, and I think the whole shit talking and stuff is just part of the nature of it.
That's to sell.
Because I think exactly, you got to sell the fight. Part of their thing as a professional athlete is to sell it. But I think what Sean said is exactly right. If these guys can lock themselves in that cage or in that ring or whatever, and they can beat the hell out of each other for however many minutes it's sanctioned for, and then at the end of it, get up and hug each other and be like, dude, or even in how many post-fight interviews where you see where that, like, I just fought the baddest motherfucker. I want to give props to this dude, right? So you're right. It's like we can all do better to raise each other up.
Like,
so
it's really, I'm getting goosebumps because I love sportsmanship. One of my favorite things about UFC is the sportsmanship after the fight. And yesterday, something happened in a fight. Curtis Blades versus Roman Kopylov. 1 second left, right? Roman head kicked Curtis. Curtis just fell because he knew there was like 2 seconds on the clock. I mean, he didn't get knocked out, but he just got stunned and just kind of fell. And the ref called it off at 1 second. So instead of going it to decision, having a chance to win, I don't think he was going to win though. It got TKO'd 1 second. Curtis threw a fit. He was so mad. Roman tried to hug him at first. Curtis was like, no. But when they were leaving the cage, Curtis decided to hug him. So just in the moment of the heat, it's just a very mature thing to do, man.
Well, I think I'm back, by the way. I think there's such thing as unhealthy competitiveness and healthy competitiveness. You know what I mean? It's good to be It's good to be competitive. I think we need more competitive nature, but in a healthy way. And I'll say this about that fight real quick. I don't know if you knew this, Zach, or that was his first ever knockdown. So his first ever knockdown was considered a TKO. I think that was part of the reason he was so upset. He's never been knocked down before.
Did you watch it? Or just a clip?
I watched it back.
Yeah,
I only watched the last 2 minutes.
Do you think he should have just waited? Like the ref?
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, it's weird.
There comes a spot where you have to just let the fighters fight. Because he was like, it's not like Roman followed up either.
No,
he just walked away. Like, why would you ever stop a fight when somebody's walking the opposite direction?
Right. That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
That is very true. Yeah, that was a weird fight. Some things happen weirdly, but
it was the first fight of the year. There's always going to be weird shit. There's always going to be kinks.
But just to go back to that sportsmanship, man, I mean, he hugged him after. All was fine. They're both fighters. There's so much respect in there. I'm sure that respect is like heavy. You feel it.
I think that they all realize they're fighting for the same thing. You know what I mean?
All of it.
And we all are fighting for the same thing, and that's just success. I think everybody's fighting for success.
So then, why can't us citizens do that? We're all fighting for the same thing.
Because I think a lot of people feel like if you succeed, that means I'm not going to. Like there's a limited number, like making a basketball team. No, there's not a limited. We can all succeed, right?
Yeah, I agree.
No, I agree with you. I think that's such. And that's what I'm saying. I just think that there's a lot of people who are missing the message. I
almost think
You
there's
know?
a tie into this, citizens and fighters, because they say just the average human goes and learns jujitsu, kickboxing, you become more kind. You realize just like, I don't know, just going by what people say.
No, there's definitely a
You
thing.
learn combat and you become like a nicer guy.
No, it's true. I think when I really got serious into combat sports and when I really started taking boxing seriously, and matter of fact, you had just talked about this on your last episode, when we would go down to the Y and stuff, when I really started taking boxing seriously, I did notice that there was also a change that came mentally, and I think
Yeah.
you're right. And Joe Rogan even said it on his podcast. He was talking about how like, oh shit, I lost the
But
thought.
it was along the lines of, go ahead, Sean, because you might know actually.
So I think I know. I don't know if Joe Rogan said this, but I think
Just
I've heard
along
this.
the lines of.
When you are going through normal life and you see this guy who's like this nerdy looking guy, you're like, who the fuck is that guy? Then you get in combat sports and realize, oh, that guy might be able to beat your ass. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what it was.
So yeah, go ahead.
No, but Joe Rogan said you cannot do combat sports and not change your views will start to change a little
Right.
bit. Like
humbled.
you get humbled, but you also become more conservative in some areas because your train of thought changes. So I think that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it helps you with like loving your neighbor too, because more with jujitsu, you're rolling with somebody. You're like touching this person, obviously not in a fucking weird way, but you're
Only
just
you thought it.
yeah. Well, who knows? A listener could have, but you're so close to another stranger,
Right.
and you both are learning the same thing at the same time. You love thy neighbor and something like that.
I wish I remember who said it, but I think it was on JRE that it was like a black belt in jiu-jitsu said like, even though I'm a black belt and I've been training for a long time, I've been tapped by white belts before. You know what I mean? Because they might see something that you don't.
Right.
So even though this guy's been training his whole life, they might see just a mistake because everybody looks at jiu-jitsu at life differently. Everyone sees it a little bit differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they could see that one thing and you'd be like, oh, fuck, I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Then everyone learns from a different coach or learns from their own research.
Yeah. You're right.
Endless creativity
It
in
is.
MMA. Endless creativity.
So I want to say kind of in closing that
We're done?
Well, no, just to close that part of the conversation for people.
Okay, that's fair.
No, just to kind of close the topic for people. This is exactly what I was looking forward to. And so the whole parenting, just to kind of close the parenting talk, that I don't want to close down the podcast, but to say that this is the joy for me looking back and like getting to do this, not only as a parent, but as a pal, too. Like I get to have one foot kind of in both sides. Like I'm always going to be a parent, and I get to enjoy just the fact that we can sit down and do this. So I just kind of want to tie that part up, but yeah, I want to continue talking about, this stuff too. So I just wanted to kind of close that for listeners, really.
I just thought of something, and I hope I'm not stepping on your toes here,
Not at all.
but I just thought of a
Literally.
great suggestion.
Yeah.
Can we stop this one and record another?
Yes, we can. We can do that. We can actually do that. So here's the thing. We're going to end this episode. I probably will not edit this part of the conversation out because I always say, well, I'll edit that out. And then I listen back to it and I say, fuck it, it flows. So yeah, So we are going to put the cap on this one. And then we're going to turn around and come back with part two.
Do you want to remind the audience where they can find it?
Yeah, so actually this is pretty cool, and thank you.
You're welcome.
For bringing that up. So Spotify, you will find Vertigo. You will also find it on Apple Podcasts, and now you can also find Vertigo on YouTube.
Ooh, that's
on
killer.
YouTube podcast. So I guess YouTube music is gone. And we're not applauding that it's gone, but we're applauding. We're applauding that. We are applauding that that I'm on YouTube. Vertigo's on YouTube. So check us out there. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in this conversation.
Thank you.
And Vertigo listeners, thank you so much for your support, and keep your heads spinning.